After yesterday's 13-21 loss against the Indianapolis Colts, there are a couple positive takeaways and breakout players that just continue to rise to the occasion, and we're going to talk about that today because I don't want to sit here and harp on all the negatives because there were a ton of them, so we're going to kind of stay away from that and save that for another video. Today we're going to be positive. We're going to talk about the players who did really well, who broke out once again, and I'm sure that you guys have some players as well, so before I get started with mine, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Type those players that you guys saw that were balling out, that shined in your eyes, and the players that you want to see make the active 53-man rosters. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this thing off with none other than the Rabbit, Xavier Thomas, also known as Ed Reed. I'm just kidding. The best safety of all time. This is a guy who's just making a name for himself. But for real, he does look really good. Something that you do recognize on tape with him is that he plays really fast and he plays with really good instincts. And it's very nice to see a safety that can actually come in here besides Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson and come and give you impact play and impact rotation. And then yesterday too, he had great balance on the sideline where he got that interception as well. Like the way he was able to control his body. Not only that, but to make the read, jump it, and in unison, catch the ball, stay in bounds, and cause a turnover is fantastic. Xavier Thomas is a heck of a player. If he keeps this up, I'm telling you, like genuinely, he is going to be somebody who gets active rotational minutes. Our safety unit behind Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson is up in the air. So he's someone who can easily come in here and make a name for himself and earn actual minutes in rotation. I think he's going to do that, and he has one more game to prove himself. If this keeps up, we're going to see a lot of his name come regular season. And somebody else who made a big time name for themselves too, and I feel like he does this all the time, is Darren Hall. Whether it's in training camp, whether it's in wherever, preseason, I just feel like he always finds a way to ball hawk. I don't know why. He's just always gravitating towards the ball. He makes plays. He dropped an interception yesterday and was on the sideline doing push-ups. There's discipline right there. He's trying to show the coaches like, hey, I'm supposed to make those plays. I'm aware of that, and he honestly can. In training camp, he was balling out. In preseason, we continue to see him ball out, make tackles, make plays, hawk towards the ball. He's doing everything right now, and he's gonna have a legit case to make this roster because the back end in the corner spot past like CB4 is up in the air. You have Darren Hall who's fighting for a spot. You have Elijah Jones who's fighting for a spot. Like you have a lot of guys towards the back end who still want to make this active 53. He's making a very good case for himself to make the active roster. So if we see Darren Hall number 30, don't be surprised. Then somebody who I'm going to give love to because he did have 2 sacks, obviously. It's hard to avoid that. It's hard to not show someone love who had 2 sacks, and that is going to be Cameron Thomas. This is someone who I thought post JJ Watt would come in here and make impact plays, and he kind of just fell off and was non-existent last year, and this is the year he's trying to make a name for himself when the Cardinals desperately need an edge. Yesterday he did get 2 sacks, so shout out to him for that, and he was causing pressure all day long. He had a little trouble bringing down the quarterback early on, but he found a way to get 2 sacks, bring him down 2 times, and the pressure alone is very nice. This is a guy that all Cardinals fans want to see thrive. We need someone in the edge to thrive, and if he can continue to get production like this and continue to get pressure and cause havoc, Cam Thomas is again another name we're probably going to see a good amount of. We're really struggling at edge right now, and we have this up in the air. We have Zaven Collins solidified on one outside, and we have a big fat question mark on the other. Is it going to be Dennis Gardick? Is it going to be Cam Thomas? Or is it going to be the other guy we're going to mention right now? And his name is Xavier Thomas. You know, a guy that every Cardinals fan is taking note of. He had a sack yesterday as well. Xavier Thomas was getting pressure all day long, had a little trouble bringing down the quarterback as well, but that was basically everybody yesterday. We'd get a ton of pressure, we would get through the gaps, and we would literally just let the quarterback evade, step up, do whatever. We would always miss him, but the pressure is nice to see, and one thing with Xavier Thomas that you do notice is that he is extremely fast coming off the edge, and he has a quickness to him that is going to be very tough to stop. He's someone that you got to take note of, and Jonathan Gannon did 2 weeks ago. He said he stands out on tape, and it's very apparent that he continues to make a name for himself, and he is standing out once again. Although we only had 1 sack and 1 tackle, he is definitely somebody that you notice in the backfield almost every time making an impact play, which is very nice to see. And the next player we're going to talk about is going to be none other than Trey freaking Benson. It is about time.
It's about damn time.
I know it's only been 2 games, but seeing Trey Benson kind of explode and have a fantastic game is so nice to see. There's a level of comfortability. He looked a little timid in the first game. There's probably some nerves, some jitters that he had to shake off, and he finally did that. In last night's game, he was able to make people miss. He was finding holes. He was getting through gaps. He was evading everybody. He was kind of navigating his way through traffic and making a ton of yards in the run game. Benson last night had 9 carries, 43 yards, and there were a couple plays too that got called back for holding Christian Jones. touchdowns, that he was breaking through. So Trey Benson, shout out to you. You had a heck of a game. Definitely somebody that stood out on tape. If he ends up being running back 2, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Michael Carter should be the running back 3, though. I hope he actually gets more minutes going into the 3rd week of the preseason, but I guess we don't know yet. But Trey Benson is another guy who stood out to me. And the last 2 players that I am going to shout out are both special teams guys, but DJ Dallas and Xavier Weaver, both when they had the ball in their hands in the back end, were really making people miss and really running through people. DJ Dallas was just not afraid of anybody. DJ Dallas is somebody that I didn't think is going to make the roster, or I personally still don't have on my active roster, but he was definitely making a name for himself on special teams. I'm not going to sit here and discredit him. He looked really good. And then Xavier Weaver, when he started returning later in the game, looked good as well. Greg Dortch was listed as the return man. We all know what he can do in space, but I mean, DJ Dallas is making a case for himself, and if he can continue this up into week 3 of the preseason, a high chance that him and Michael Carter are going to be going back and forth because of the aspect that he brings on special teams as well. We got to keep our eyes out for that. And with that being said, that is pretty much going to wrap up today's video. If there's any players that I forgot or did not mention today, let me know down in the comment section below, because I'm sure there's somebody. I can't touch on everybody. I did think LJ Collier did have a pretty good game as well. He was creating pressure in the middle. He ended up with a sack. A pretty good outing for him as well. That's somebody that I did forget to mention that slipped from my head, so I gotta at least throw that in. But like I said, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy, consider hitting that subscribe button. Post Arizona Cardinals and NFL related content, so if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. But like I said, that is all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.